Hey everybody, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring the story of Joseph.
You know, the one from the Bible.
Right, from the book of Genesis.
Yeah.
Chapter 41 to be exact.
Ah, yes.
We're going to be looking at what his story can teach us, about how to navigate our own lives.
Yeah, I think that's a really fascinating aspect of these ancient stories. They still have so much to teach us, even thousands of years later.
Totally. So to set the scene, we're in ancient Egypt,
Okay.
and Pharaoh, he's the big boss man, right?
Yeah.
He's having some crazy dreams.
Oh, yeah, those dreams.
First, there are these 7 healthy cows just chilling.
Yeah.
Then, out of nowhere, 7 skinny cows show up,
Like, really skinny.
and they eat the healthy cows.
It's kind of disturbing when you think about it.
Right. And then he has another dream. 7 plump ears of corn, nice and full.
Like, ready for harvest.
Yeah, exactly. And they get swallowed up by 7, shriveled ears of corn.
It's a theme, isn't it?
It is. So Pharaoh's freaking out, right? I mean, these dreams are wild.
Understand.
And none of his advisors, like the wise men, magicians, nobody can figure them out.
No clue.
So that's where Joseph comes in. He'd been sold into slavery by his brothers,
Oh, yeah, rough start.
falsely accused, thrown in prison. But even in prison, he becomes known for his ability to interpret dreams.
Always got to find that silver lining, right?
Seriously. So Pharaoh, desperate for answers, obviously, he summons Joseph from prison.
Big moment.
Joseph hears about these bizarre dreams, and he's like, I got this.
Confident.
And he tells Pharaoh that these dreams are from God, and he can explain what they mean.
Okay, so what do they mean?
So Joseph, he says that the 7 healthy cows and plump ears of corn,
Right.
they represent 7 years of amazing harvests in Egypt. Abundance and prosperity.
My good times.
But, and here's the catch, those skinny cows, the withered ears of corn,
Uh-oh.
they symbolize 7 years of devastating famine. That's going to follow the good time.
Oh, talk about a swing.
So 7 years of feast, followed by 7 years of famine.
What a roller coaster.
That's got to be stressful, right?
Yeah.
Even for a pharaoh.
Oh, absolutely. But you know what's impressive?
What's that?
Joseph doesn't just deliver bad news. He's got a solution, too.
Okay, I like a problem solver.
Right. He advises Pharaoh to put someone in charge, someone wise, to oversee, gathering and storing grain, during those good years.
Sweet.
Yeah, then they'd have that grain stored up to feed people during the famine.
Like a backup plan.
Exactly.
So Pharaoh, he's blown away by Joseph's wisdom, right?
Yeah.
And practicality. So he puts Joseph in charge.
He's like, you're hired.
Basically, not just any job either.
Yeah.
He makes Joseph second in command.
Wow.
Pretty much running the whole country.
From prisoner to, running a nation. You can't make this stuff up.
Seriously. But
Ah.
here's what I find really interesting. What can we learn from Joseph's experience? That we can apply to our own lives today.
Yeah, that's the big question.
It's not just an ancient story. It's packed with wisdom that's still relevant today.
Totally agree. We'll get into that more after the break. It's really kind of amazing how Joseph's story, it just highlights these universal truths about us, as humans.
For sure. We all face challenges in life, right? We got to make tough decisions. And we all have the potential to, really rise above our circumstances, just like Joseph.
Exactly. It's even though the specifics of his story, dreams about cows and corn ruling over ancient Egypt, it might seem like ancient history. But those underlying themes, resilience, leadership, facing the unknown, they're so relevant to us even today.
Totally. It's like a blueprint, almost, for how to handle challenges with wisdom and grace, planning to the future without being scared, and leading with integrity even when things are tough.
Yeah, I think there are some key takeaways here that we can apply to different parts of our own lives.
Okay, let's hear them. Where do we even start?
Well, one thing that really stands out about Joseph is his humility. Even when he's standing there before Pharaoh, interpreting these super important dreams, he recognizes that his ability comes from somewhere else.
So it's not about being arrogant, right, or claiming to have all the answers, but about recognizing that we draw on knowledge and skills and insights even that come from, beyond ourselves. I think that's a powerful reminder, especially nowadays, when it's so easy to, get caught up in self-promotion.
Yeah, for sure. Think about it. Who has helped you along the way?
Right.
Have there been mentors who guided you? Resources that opened doors? Communities that supported your growth?
That's a good point. Acknowledging those influences is crucial, not just for being grateful, but for fostering a more collaborative way of living, right? Nobody achieves anything alone.
Exactly. It's like we're all standing on the shoulders of giants, so to speak. And that recognition, it can lead to deeper connections with others and a greater willingness to learn and grow.
Love that. Okay, so humility is a big one. What else can we learn from Joseph?
Well, his story is like a master class in planning and foresight. He sees the famine coming, and instead of freaking out, he uses those years of plenty to prepare. It's a powerful lesson in thinking ahead, right?
Absolutely. That's so important, especially
Deal.
now when things move so fast. It's easy to get caught up in just like the right now. We need to think about the future, the kind of life we want to build.
Exactly. It's about positioning ourselves to thrive, when opportunities come along, whether that's financial planning or
Yeah.
investing in your education or learning new skills.
So true, creating that solid foundation. Okay, so we've got humility and foresight. What about resilience? Joseph went through some serious stuff, but he never gave up.
Right. And the way he transformed those hardships into opportunities for growth, it's pretty remarkable. He keeps his faith, his inner strength, and in the end, his resilience leads to something amazing.
It's really inspiring. Like, no matter what you're going through, you can get through it. It's not about avoiding challenges completely, but about having the tools to navigate them.
It's about cultivating that inner strength, that bounce back ability. And remember, resilience doesn't mean you have to do it all alone. It's also knowing when to ask for help, when to lean on others.
So important.
And lastly, Joseph's story teaches us about ethical and responsible leadership. Once he's in charge, he doesn't abuse his power. He genuinely cares about the people. And his decisions, they're all about making sure everyone survives and thrives.
That's a nice change of pace, right? Compared to some of the leaders we see today, it's like he shows us that real leadership is about service.
Exactly. It's about leading with integrity, building trust, acting responsibly, even when it's hard. And it reminds us that leadership isn't about a title. It's about how we show up in the world and the impact we have.
This has been like eye-opening. It's amazing how this ancient story can offer such practical wisdom.
Yeah, it's like we found this hidden treasure chest
Yeah.
full of wisdom, and it was just tucked away in this old story.
I love that. It's true, though, these ancient stories have so much to teach us about ourselves and, the world.
Totally. And the best part is anyone can find these treasures. Like, we can all learn from Joseph and apply these ideas to our own lives.
Oh, absolutely. Humility, foresight, resilience, ethical leadership. Right. Makes you wonder, what would Joseph think of our world today? Imagine him trying to, scroll through social media or deal with traffic.
Huh. That's funny. But it's an interesting thought, right? I bet he'd be amazed by all the technology, but also maybe concerned about some of the problems we face.
I think so, too. It's like, even with all the progress we've made, we still struggle with some of the same stuff as, ancient civilizations. Inequality, justice, all that.
Exactly. I think Joseph would probably encourage us to keep working towards a better world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive, no matter their background.
And to reach their full potential, just like he did.
Yeah, I think he would. I think he'd also remind us to use our resources wisely, plan for the future, stay resilient when things get tough, all those timeless principles we've been talking about.
It's pretty amazing how this ancient story can still guide us today.
It really is. Joseph's story is, at its heart, a story of hope. It reminds us that even when we face huge obstacles, there's always potential for, redemption, transformation, and ultimately, triumph. That's a message that can inspire anyone, really.
Well said. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Joseph and all this timeless wisdom, I want to leave you with a question. What area of your life could benefit from applying one of these principles? Humility, foresight, resilience, ethical leadership.
It's worth thinking about. And remember, even small changes can make a big difference over time. Don't underestimate the power of these ideas.
That's so true. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep searching for that wisdom wherever you can find it.